Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Justin with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we're breaking down the PowerStop Z26 rear pad and rotor kit available for your 2016 and newer Camaro SS at home. Now the Z26 kit that we have here today will be an affordable way for 6th gen owners out there to not only help increase the stopping power when installed, but also improve the appearance behind your favorite set of wheels at the same time. Now this kit will include the slotted and drilled rear rotors here, carbon ceramic pads, and all of the hardware needed for right around that mid to high $200 price point. So for those who don't know, PowerStop is a very popular option when it comes to affordable braking upgrades here on the site, and I really like the fact that they give car owners a few different flavors, if you will, when it comes to just how aggressive they want to get with their upgrade. For instance, they have their extremely bare bones and most affordable OE replacement kits, all the way down the line to their super aggressive track day stuff and really everything in between. Now the kit that we have on the table here today is the Z26 kit. Honestly, it's the company's most aggressive street focused kit that will offer plenty of bite and stopping power, but without the excess noise and dust of their track focused kit. Now moving into construction, and what do you say we start with that Z26 pad here, since it is unique to the Z26 kit. Now this is a carbon fiber infused ceramic pad, so it does offer a little bit more bite, a little bit more heat resistance compared to the Z23 kit, which is a step below. And that Z23 pad is just gonna utilize a more run-of-the-mill, if you will, ceramic material. Now PowerStop claims that the Z26 pad is gonna be both noise and dust free, but in my experience, running a similar kit does offer, or produce I should say, a little bit more of both when compared to just a straight up factory pad, but certainly not excessive. Now the pad is really only one half of the equation here, as you can see. You are also receiving a set of the rear rotors with the Street Warrior kit as well. And guys, these things have been given that slotted and drilled treatment. That's there to help prevent heat, prevent brake fade, of course, while also looking pretty good behind your favorite set of wheels at the same time. Now these rotors are cast iron, they have been mill balanced, and rotor runout has been tested to be within OE spec before being shipped out, which just ensures you shouldn't experience any nasty vibration or shimmying or anything like that once the install has occurred. Finally, guys, you can't help but notice this beautiful silver zinc coating here, or plating on the rotors themselves. That's just there to help reduce any unsightly corrosion on your non-friction surfaces over the years. Finally, PowerStop does kick in all of the necessary brake hardware and everything needed for the install with this particular kit. Now price point for the rear kit from PowerStop will live in that mid to high $200 ballpark, which is slotted nicely between the rear kits from EBC on the more high side of the pricing spectrum. And of course you got more affordable kits like your OE stuff on the lower end of the pricing spectrum. So overall, I would say this is certainly a nice middle of the road option that will offer plenty of performance for the money. All right, last but not least, let's move into our installation segment, and very basic stuff here with the rear brakes. That's why the site's just gonna call this a pretty mundane 2 out of 3 wrenches on the old difficulty meter, maybe a couple of hours to knock out from start to finish. But let's throw things out to the shop right now for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need various impacts or ratchets, a T30 Torx pick, a 15mm swivel socket, a caliper hanger tool, caliper compressor tool, a hammer, and a thin punch. Also not shown here is a jack and jack stands. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing some brakes on our Camaro, so let's get started. Alrighty guys, so we've got the car up in the air, we've got the wheels off, and the first thing you want to make sure of is that your parking brake is not engaged on this, because you will not be able to get your rotor off if you're doing that. So we're going to go ahead and get our pads out first, and they're held in by these 2 pins here. So we're going to need a thin punch and a hammer to go ahead and knock these pins back through. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Once you get them most of the way through, pop the other one out. Once they get pushed back there. All right guys, so we've got our pins knocked back, and we also have this retainer clip here. So what we're going to do is push down on this bottom section here to relieve the tension. Slide this pin all the way out. Set that aside. And we can go ahead and slide this pin out, remove our clip here. Then once we have those out, we can go ahead and remove our pads. So we'll go ahead and just pull these straight up and out, like so. Now sometimes these can get a little wedged in here. You may need to use a flathead screwdriver to kind of help gently pry them out. Now once we have our pads out, we can come to the back of our caliper and we need to remove the 2 mounting bolts there. So they're 15mm bolts. So we'll grab a 15mm swivel socket on our impact and go ahead and pop those off. Now we've got our 15mm swivel socket. We'll go ahead and pop these bolts out. Now we're just gonna loosen them. We're not gonna fully remove them just yet. So now that we've got them loose, we'll go ahead and grab a caliper hanger tool and get that ready. Go ahead and remove these bolts one at a time. You want to support your caliper while you're removing these. So once we have it off, go ahead and pull this up out of the way. And we can take our caliper hanger tool, hook that into our caliper, and we're going to hook it on our control arm here. You just want to make sure you don't have excess tension on your brake line because you don't want this hanging from it. That can cause damage to your brake line and turn a simple job into a much more expensive one. So now we can go ahead and remove our rotor, and the first thing we need to do is pull out this set screw here, which is a T30 Torx screw. So we'll grab our T30 Torx bit on our impact and go ahead and pull this out. Now, one thing to note here is these are just put on the assembly line to hold your rotors in place. They're not exactly necessary to go ahead and put them back, although they do help hold your rotor in place. But if you damage it on the way out, which does happen, it's okay to not put it back in. It's non-essential. So we'll go ahead and pop this out. Then we'll go ahead and pull our rotor off, and we'll show you why you need your parking brake disengaged. We've got this off. And this drum setup on the inside is your parking brake, so if you have that engaged, that's going to grab onto the rotor from the inside and you won't be able to get it off. So now once you have it done for this side, you can go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. So now we can go ahead and install our new setup, and we're going to start with our new rotor. So we're going to line our set screw position up with our threaded mounting point here. Get our rotor fully seated, and we are going to reinstall our set screw. So once again, we'll grab that T30 Torx bit on our impact. Just gently run this in. So before we can reinstall our caliper, we're gonna need to compress our caliper pistons back to make room for the new pads and rotor. So we'll go ahead and grab this here. And we'll grab our caliper compressor tool. You will need one of these to get this in. Now, optimally, you wanna have one of these that's a little bit smaller than ours to fit in this rear caliper, but this one will work. But you want to make sure your plates are covering all 4 pistons. Then you want to go ahead and crank this out until your pistons are bottomed out. So now that we have our pistons compressed, we can go ahead and reinstall our caliper. So we'll get this back in position here. Then we're going to reinstall those factory 15mm mounting bolts. Get this lined up. That one started, get our top one started. And we'll go ahead and tighten these back down. And we'll grab our 15mm swivel socket on our impact. And you always want to refer to your manufacturer torque spec for all of your hardware. Next, we can go ahead and install our new pads. So just as our old ones came out, we'll go ahead and slide these right into place. You want to line those up with your pinholes. And then the one with the wear marker is going to go down and out on the front side. And once we have these in, we'll go ahead and get our first pin started. And you want to set your retainer clip in. Slide your pin through that. We'll go ahead and get it most of the way through. Then we'll get our second pin in. We'll go ahead and push down on that. Get this pin through. Then we'll go ahead and grab our hammer and tap our pins back into place. Now you want to be gentle here, you don't need a lot of force. You always want to remember to pump up your brakes before you go to drive after you've completed your install so your brakes build pressure back up. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our PowerStop Z26 Street Warrior brake rotor and pad kit for the rear of your 16 to current Camaro SS. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Camaro, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.